Why does it hurt so much when the day breaks? Why does it hurt so much when the day breaks? It's the Cornbread Man Morning Show on your radio. It's the Cornbread Man Morning Show. It's the Cornbread Man Morning Show on your radio. It's the Cornbread Man Morning Show.
Good evening. This is your host standing by our nation's heart. We are launching Patriot Nation News, your trusted source for daily updates. Join us every weekday, 9 p.m. Eastern, only on PNN News.
Let's kick this day off right, Wolf Nation. It's time to wake up, show up. First you pray up, then you coffee up. Grab your Wolf Nation coffee and tune into the Cornbread Man Morning Show at 6 a.m. EST. Don't you dare miss it.
You're not going to want to miss what we're cooking up this month. Make sure you tune in every single Saturday morning, live right here from Wolf Nation Studio. Keep your eyes peeled for the Cornbread Man and Biscuit Boy. They're bringing the heat every week.
Oh, yeah. Biscuit Boy will be back in the house tonight. We have had crazy weather. In fact, so much so that it knocked out our ability to be online last night. I just could not get a stable internet. Our power, I found out what happened. I think we had a tree go down on a power line. Our power went off twice briefly, and it really just messed up the internet. So we had to cancel a couple of shows, well, about 3 or 4 shows actually last night. We'll get back to them tonight, make up for lost time. So anyway, that's what happened. We couldn't be on, and we'll get it next time. It happened, and I actually crashed early with the storm and the rain and everything, and I think that that's the longest I have slept in some while. I have been sleeping good, so maybe it was all just meant to be. I guess it was. It happened. So I got a lot of rest. We didn't air. We got to get back with our driver. We were so looking forward to talking to him. I was out moving around yesterday and talking to our guest as we were moving around. It was my birthday, so I just had a lot of things going on. I just couldn't get to that point, so it just wasn't going to be. So we got some things accomplished. We just didn't get to air anything last night. It is still raining here in Northwest Georgia. Not heavy. Yesterday, at times, it was really heavy. Some of the biggest rain I've seen in some time. But I saw a video of the line of the tree that crashed. There was a small fire, and it was only about 2 or 3 streets over from where I live. So really close. They got the power on really quick. I think it just sent a surge, but it just really messed up. It was still storming. My family got back from shopping, and it just let go not long after we were to be on air. So it was no pun intended, a washout. We just didn't have it. But welcome to you Thursday, May the 7th at 6:05 Eastern Standard Time. We do have shows scheduled. Remember, every night, as long as we don't get knocked out from being online, Patriot Nation News, PNN, and then Wolf Nation Sports will be on every night. Tonight we may try to pick up one portion of the racing. We may do the racing hour. May try to get that. I'll get in touch with Dean. He may be listening out there. Who knows? He's probably still sleeping. He's off today. So we will try to get at least that in, and then me and Biscuit Boy will be on for a show, and he may join us on that. We may do a show, then do the racing, and then go right into evening programming. We'll see. We'll just have to see what we got. We'll pack as much in as we can, and kind of move on from there. But hey, it's good to be here. Let's get our verse out there. I want to explain all that. And share screen. Let me find that. Appreciate all the people that sent me happy birthday messages. It was a real blessing. I tried to answer them back, all of them, at least like them, everyone that did that. So they took the time to do that, and I appreciate that. All right, here we go. James 1:17, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above. Amen. And cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. I love it. The Lord is no respecter of person. Nobody's got the upper hand. If you're in the family, you're in the family. There's some people live or act like that they are somehow in a higher position with God than everybody else. It's not going to work. It's all from Him. It's all about Him. It's all to Him. It's not about them. Some people think that it's all about them, but it is not. This day in history, let's get a little bit of that in. In 1429, English siege of Orleans broken by Joan of Arc and the French army. Nice, 1429. 1867, Swedish chemist Alfred Nobel patents dynamite in England, the first of 3 patents he receives for the explosive material. And it's been an explosive situation ever since. Yes. 1912, Columbia University approves plans to award the Pulitzer Prize in several categories after establishment by Joseph Pulitzer. In 1915, RMS Lusitania is sunk by a German submarine off the southern coast of Ireland with almost, 1,200 lives lost. So tragic. In 1945, German Third Reich General Alfred Jody signs documents of surrender to the Allies at Reims, France. Soviet Union refuses to recognize it. And of course, they were very angry, and they were trying to get for full control of everything German. That didn't happen. 1952, the concept of the integrated circuit, the basis for all modern computers, changed our lives. It's first published by Jeffrey Dahmer. And was in 2017, Emmanuel Macron wins France's presidential election, defeating Marine Le Pen, and it's been a mess ever since over there. It just continued to get worse for France. What a mess. I mean, what a mess. They have a lot of problems in their country. Not that we don't. Today this is actually, let's do yesterday's birthdays. We didn't get them in. Basketball player Angel Reese, 24, in the news a lot. Seemingly 24. These were yesterday's. Who else? George Clooney was 65 yesterday. Meek Mill was 39 yesterday. Chris Paul was playing last night. 41 yesterday. And let's see here. Some of these I do not care to even mention. They try to put everybody that has anything going on out there in the famous, and that's not the way that works. So, just looking to see Bob Seger. I saw that pop up. 81 years old. Bob Seger. Had a lot of songs I really liked back in the day. So, and let's throw in more. Let's see here. Let's put in some May 7th. Tommy Fury, boxer, 26 today. It's not filled very much with those that I want to recognize today. That's okay though. If that's it, that's it. Russell Dickerson, 38, country singer. Some of you may be familiar with him. Some may not. Dick Williams, baseball player who died in 2011, was born on this date. And that's enough for that. In the news, we're trying to get a signed agreement with Iran. And I don't know if they're going to be able to get it done or not. But they are in breakneck speed trying to get this thing. They say they've got it. And President Trump is saying that Iran is agreeing to curb its nuclear ambitions It's a 15-point document, to my understanding, and the length of time is going to be one of the two things. What do they do with the enriched uranium? If they can't make it up to so much level, keep the strait open. I mean, there's all these things. They say that they have agreed not to pursue nuclear weapons as they press Tehran to surrender enriched uranium that they say remains unaccounted for. President Trump said from the Oval Office, look, this is very simple. I don't know if you saw, by the way, the fight announcement for the fight. I watched that yesterday. It's going to be in front there, and they had the fighters up there. Kind of a break-in news. They didn't even know it was going to happen. They were going to have that day. It was pretty interesting. I watched that. Anyways, it's very simple. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon because, as tough as they are, we want to keep them alive. And he said those around that event, actually for the UFC event, we want to keep all of you alive. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't. And they've agreed to that, among other things. Trump later underscored the administration's focus on Iran's nuclear material, telling reporters as he left the White House event that the U.S. intends to take possession of Iran's enriched uranium stockpile. That was the first time we've been hearing that. They've been talking about what do they do with it. According to the U.S. officials, Iran has yet to hand over the more than 900 pounds of highly enriched uranium that could potentially be further refined for weapons use. The president says, quote, we're going to get it, end quote. The enriched uranium issue has emerged as one of the central sticking points, Can't read. In the negotiations, as the administration seeks a formal agreement ending more than 2 months of fighting that obviously began February 28th. They also remain divided over the future of Iran's nuclear program and the security of the Strait of Hormuz. The White House is awaiting Iran's response to a one-page memorandum for understanding designed to end the conflict and establish a framework for broader nuclear talks, which they would give them some weeks. That they essentially could announce that the war is over. Reuters separately reported that Iran has said it was reviewing a U.S. peace proposal, and I had seen this. They said they will, I think, work through Pakistan as they negotiate back and forth. So we'll see. That could come at any time. It would open discussions on restoring commercial shipping through the Strait, easing of U.S. sanctions on Iran, imposing restrictions on Iran's nuclear activities. There would be money, their money, I suppose, that would be available to them. Some sanctions would end. Things could roll out. It's a 14-point plan. I thought it's 15. Or no, it is 15. It's unclear how it differs from the 14-point plan that Tehran floated last week. It's just, there's all this give and take. Iran, I don't know, you can trust anything they say. But one of the things is that, good grief, can we not just, it's a part of it, 15-point plan, they have a 14, we got to have a 15. They'll come back with a 10 or something like that. It's all about one-upping you and saying, well, they wanted a 15, we got a 10, That's some of this is going on too. He said the president said that the infrastructure for nuclear and military had been weakened by the strikes. Now it's only a question of, look, if we left right now, Iran, it would take them 20 years to rebuild. You would call that we're in good shape, right? We're in good shape, and now we're doing well. Now we have to get what we have to get. If we don't do that, we'll have to go a big step further. But with that being said, they want to make a deal. We've had very good talks over the last 24 hours. It's very possible we'll make a deal. I would temper excitement over that because this has happened before and we've gotten close and they say no deal, seemingly playing, with the administration back and forth. No, Eileen, I have not. I was very, very busy yesterday and we had a lot of storms here. I wasn't back online at all. So I have not. You sent me an email. I have not checked that yet. So just be patient with me. I was very busy all day. But I will check it. So it'd be nice. It'd be nice to see this ending. Get the gas prices coming back down. France, speaking of them, Macron, this came out late last night. He wants the U.S. and Iran to open the strait while they negotiate. Well, of course, everybody's bleeding, economy-wise. He called on the U.S. and Iran to coordinate reopening the Strait of Hormuz as they negotiate an end of the conflict. It's like, okay, y'all can talk, but let's get the ships moving. Well, I think we wanted the ships moving. I think it was they were being fired upon. Reports suggested even some of our military, our naval assets were fired upon. And, that's not going to open it up. So why don't you just speak to Iran about that, Mr. Macron? He said Iran has effectively stalled the traffic through the strait. We know that. So he posted on X. It said he spoke with Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian and expressed deep concern over the ongoing escalation while condemning the unjustified strikes against Emirati civilian infrastructure and several ships. Quote, all parties must lift the blockade of the strait without delay and without conditions. Sounding all tough. He don't look tough, does he? I don't think he can sound tough. We must durably return to the regime of full freedom of navigation that prevailed before the conflict. France earlier Wednesday deployed the Charles de Gaulle carrier strike group to the Red Sea as part of preparations for a potential mission to secure the strait. Well, they're going to step in now, huh? And we have another entrant into this battle. France and the United Kingdom have been working on a proposal for several weeks that lays the groundwork for safe transit through the waterway once the situation stabilizes or the conflict is resolved. The multinational mission. You see how they're trying to sideline us? We've been there. We've been doing it. Little man Zelensky over there. He was trying to say that he was going to assemble the team players. He ain't on the team, but he thinks he is. Now we have France, the United Kingdom, that they're a multinational mission. They have set up to restore confidence among ship owners and insurers. Macron wrote, it will, by its very nature, be distinct from the warring parties. So we got our own little deal going on. So they're just going to cut us out like we got a deal. That ain't going to happen either, buddy. The prepositioning of the aircraft carrier fits within this context. Recent events clearly demonstrate the usefulness that such a mission would have. I invited the Iranian president to seize this opportunity, and I intend to discuss this matter with the president, Donald Trump. The return of calm in the strait will help advance negotiations on the nuclear issue, the ballistic issue, and the regional situation. The Europeans, on whom the lifting of sanctions depends, will take their place in this process. Well, you have been in the gallery so far, my friend. European nations have been largely onlookers in this conflict, but with the Middle East shipping lanes disrupted and oil prices fluctuating around $100 a barrel, European powers are grappling with how to defend their interest. You weren't worried about it before, but now you are. Let's see. Well, again, it's everybody's wanting to get a skin in the game now. All those ships, thousands of them, are sitting there, tankers, cargo ships, big, small, whatever. They're all sitting there. Ships are running out of food and water. Iran knows what it's doing. They're stalling, and I'm sure that kind of talk will just encourage them to do a little more, thinking that these nations throwing a carrier group in there, there's somebody going to back us off. It's not going to happen. The Charles de Gaulle. Are you kidding me? Oh, there was the Indiana's. I went and voted, by the way, yesterday too, in my primaries. It was a very long ballot, a lot of questions. We'll review that one night this week on some portions of it on the PNN News. I want to look at some of those races. We have several. We've already voted on special elections. Now we're having to come back. So it's a big ballot. I mean, it doesn't take me long to vote. I pretty well know. I mean, I always do my research and everything. It's been a crazy time for me, and I haven't had as much research, but I knew who I was voting for when I walked in. It just took a little time because of all the questions. They weren't really wordy. I think it was about 10 or 12 of them. And it was things like, do you want the Republican Party to ensure the candidates are pro-life, things like that. So it took a little time. There are a lot of races, some unopposed, all the way up to the state, the Supreme Court, and all those things. So there's a lot on the ballot, but I did go vote. Got to see some folks they had not heard about my wife passing. It was nice. I got to go in and vote and go ahead and have that done. But Representative Dan Mooser of Republican Pennsylvania had this to say about the early Ohio, because Ohio voted before a lot of the others have. And of course, we know that Vivek Ramaswamy will go in the main election, the general, in November. But he had this to say about the primary in Ohio. He's looking at it as a signal, a sign about the midterms. And he says Republicans are poised for success in the upcoming midterm elections, arguing that President Donald Trump's political influence and voter turnout efforts will be decisive as the party seeks to expand its strength in Congress. Speaking on Newsmax Wake Up America, he said that recent Republican primary results in Indiana as well as evidence of Trump's continued grip on the party and its voters, saying that the base is demanding that elected officials follow through on the president's agenda. Republican voters want us to deliver on the president's agenda, he said. He noted that the core priorities driving Republican voters are, quote, strong national security, secure borders, rule of law when it comes to immigration, and a strong economy built on manufacturing, energy production, and job growth. I wouldn't disagree with that. When you listen to people that I know that vote, they mention most of that. He warned that Republicans who oppose that agenda risk political consequences, adding that, quote, those who run against that are, doing so at their own jeopardy, end quote. So we'll be interested to look. He goes on to say, quote, look, the president gets people out to vote. And that's true. The president has always increased voter turnout. I know people who never voted before, never voted. Since 2016, they've been voting. He brought them out. That is true. He gets people out to vote, and that's what's going. He's got them out in Indiana, and that's what's going to happen in the midterms as well. As soon as he engages, we're going to get through this Iranian military conflict, and we're going to roll in the midterms and be successful. So we'll see. There are other people who are concerned that we will hold the Senate but not the House. I think it is. It's raised within. So they're working those numbers. So it'll be interesting to see. Good morning, Pastor Barrett. France and the United Kingdom are acting like they have been watching a fight in a high school locker room. When the fight is almost over and the bullies about worn out, the little boys want to take a swing and act like they've been in the fight from the beginning. Dude, you have absolutely nailed that scenario and gave us a picture image of that, and I 100% concur with it. It is absolutely that. I mean, they've been sitting on their hands for weeks. They've given no support, no help, not talk tough, nothing. They've sat and watched their ships be sitting there too, and now they want to roll in and like, yeah, I told you, yeah. I was here. I settled that. We did it. America? Oh, yeah, We're dealing directly with the Iranians. Shut up, dude. Like, you ain't done nothing. It's like people that claim they were somewhere and when they weren't, and it's like, oh, I was there. Yeah, we told them that day. And they never were even there. That's what this, yeah, but you nailed it, man. I don't even want to add to that. Absolutely. And let's just be honest, they're both sissy nations. They've turned into that. I don't know if that's right to even say that word anymore, sissy. People get mad. But they're sissy nations. They absolutely, their countries are turning into a toilet bowl full of what goes into toilet bowls. And yet they're going to come out and act like they're in some sort of world director, like they're director of, you go here, you do this. Yeah, we got this. You can't even run your own country. France in particular, they're both bad, but France in particular, their nation has about been taken over. I mean, really. It is about maintaining. It's not much behind. Britain is not much behind. And if you read the news and stuff out of there, it's ridiculous. And if we don't watch, we're going to have many of the same problems here in a great way, because we're already seeing some of that violence because of that open borders and people coming across, and people that are being, broad daylight, strong arm robbed, beat down, women harassed, all the crime that has went with that. That's what's happening in our nation. I mean, France has full-on areas of the country that they cannot go into. The government, the police, they can't go into. They have lost control of whole areas to entities. They have. And Britain is going down the same road. I mean, the strong British Empire, it's gone. It's over. They got nothing. I mean, so they're going to send this carrier strike group into the region. We check you for your one. We've got 3 there. I would love it if we blocked the French from. You notice they said they were in the Red Sea. The Red Sea, that's around the corner. They're just in the region. That is absolutely a joke. My gosh. Jerry says, when all this is over, America needs to withhold all money that we are giving these other countries and take care of America's economy and citizens. Let the other countries take care of themselves, sink or swim. I agree. I was telling one of my sisters, or probably both of them, but I know I was speaking to one specifically, and I said, it really angers me. We send all this money and help to these nations, and many of them turn around and they shake their fist at us. Some of them, maybe not those two, but there are citizens within them, especially France, they shake their fists and say, death to America, and, they criticize us all constantly, and we're stupid and we're this and we're that. Okay, well, we just won't send you any money. No more money. But it's interesting. The midterms are going to be I get it. Politics is politics. You have to take care of the politics of stuff. Yeah. I agree. Let them hate us for free. Amen and amen. You sir, deserve. You do. That's a great quote. We should have that on a shirt. Let them hate us for free, and have like a circle. No, the money. No more money. No more money to the haters. Wolf Nation, baby. But they got to get past the. They got to get past the midterms. I get it. Politics drives everything. And see, that's what a lot of nations have the advantage on us with. What they do is they placate. Now, it's a little far out. If Trump was in his last term, there would be no deal, no nothing, because they just wait for the next president, hoping that, Kamala or somebody like that gets into power and all that agenda. And they go, oh, yes, the money train is open again. She's so dumb. We can play her like a fiddle. She won't know nothing. They hate this guy. They hate him because he calls out their crap. Carrie Lake is in the news. She said anti-American policies alive and well in California. The Democrats in California need to go further toward rejecting what she called anti-American policies. She said it was absolutely like watching during the recent California gubernatorial debate, quote, it was absolutely like watching activity at an insane asylum. That's also a great, she said of the debate. Quote, for the people who think these anti-American policies have finally been rooted out, if you watch that debate, you realize they are alive and well in California. Lake sharply criticized billionaire Tom Steyer after he defended higher taxes on wealthy Americans. And by the way, did you see the billionaire in New York who is absolutely thinking about moving everything he's got to Miami? Because Mondami goes out there and makes a little play video where he's like pointing up to his penthouse, $238 million. He's trashing on the rich. And I've said this forever. I'm so glad that people say it. They are trashing that they got rich being successful, but those successful people provide the jobs. I mean, somebody's going to make the money. He should have shot out the window and said, if you didn't charge so much for rent here in New York, I wouldn't have to pay that. But I don't care as long as you're providing well-paying jobs, you know, a decent wage and all that. Now everybody, it goes back to socialism. Everybody gets the equal piece of pie. No, it's not. It's capitalism. I do not care that he's a billionaire. It doesn't bother me one bit. He's made it. As long as he's not stepping on the backs of people and, you know, paying them, slave wages or whatever you want to say. But they are the rich. I've said this for the Democrats. That's been their top of their platform forever now. Biden was all over it. And Obama, too, we're going to tax the rich. They're not paying enough taxes and blah, 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 blah. But these are the people that provide the jobs. Granted, you can work on the tax issue, but all of your rich friends, including the Obamas, including the Bidens, including every one of them that runs their mouth, they use the same loopholes. They act like they're separate from that, and they're not using the same ones. All of them use the same loopholes. Close them up for all. But he trashed the one. He's looking out the window like, what the heck is he doing? So it's going to hurt. New York's in trouble. I mean, they're in trouble, and California is as well. She said, if you hate yourself so much for being a billionaire, why did you become one? Ooh, yeah. Why did you take so much money if you're so desperate to give it back? He should do a TV commercial where he goes out and takes his billions and just sets it on fire like the Palisades fire that they allowed to happen. Man, talk about fire here. Lake also accused wealthy Democrats of hypocrisy on taxes. Tom Steyer has a team of accountants that give him the lowest possible tax rate every year, of course. And what American does not? So do all these wealthy leftists that complain all the time about tax the rich, they pay as little as they possibly can? It's all just so fraudulent. The former Arizona gubernatorial candidate blasted Representative Katie Porter over support for taxpayer-funded health care for illegal immigrants. Quote, she can't wait to continue funding the health care of millions of illegal immigrants in a state that is going belly up and bankrupt. Illegals are the only way California has been growing. Wealthy tax-paying people and businesses are the ones going out. Lake said the debate demonstrated that Democrats remain committed to policies she argued are unpopular with voters. We watched as one person lied about hundreds of thousands of migrant children being lost. We saw all of them say they want to lock up and arrest ICE agents who are simply doing their job. I thought people were starting to get the message that the American people want pro-American policies, but apparently they haven't gotten that message in California. Tax the rich, but don't question the money we stole from the taxpayers. Truth, my friend, truth. Nailing it. Agree. Yeah. I mean, it's all a smokescreen. That's absolutely what it is. It's all a smokescreen to throw off the voters. I mean, we see what's going on. Hello to you on Instagram. Sorry, Jake. I had a screen over. Let's see that. Thank you for the like and share. How am I doing today? Well, like and share, not share. I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm glad you are, Jake. Keep up the good work in the great state of Mississippi. Well, but we have assisted them. They may not get no money in foreign aid from us, but there's been help that we have given them before. I just don't like their operations. Speaking of France, and then I get it. All right, I get it. There's a lot of money that yes goes to Israel. Yes, we do. But let's just not. You're just again. You're going back to one group. We absolutely have funded so many things that are not Jewish overseas. So many things. It's not just Jewish causes. It's not. There have been millions or billions and billions of dollars that have went out across the world to people who hate our guts. So I yes, I will give you that part that we have done that. That we have given money to that, but we have helped so many. Your statement clouds the fact that there's others as well. I get it, and probably Representative Luna says that President Trump may be the last president that ever supports Israel They have. It may be true, and he admitted to that. Because people are turning on Israel and the Jews and hating on them, and they're hating on all Jews. Though it's not just the thing; it's just the fact they hate Jews. It's not just the fact about the money or what Israel does. It's not just like the hatred for Jews is rising in the nation, but let's not mask it under just money or what they do over there. It's just Jewish hatred. I mean, I get it. There's a lot of things that they do government-wise or whatever we don't like. Certainly, a lot of people and they're right to be angry about that. But a lot of it is just Jewish hatred. But I get it. You don't like them. I get that. But you so get tunnel vision on this. There are so many people that have nothing to do with, have no connection to Israel or Jewish influence or anything, that absolutely hate America, hate on America, and we have helped them and helped them and helped them and helped them. And our allies are certainly, that's why I've said NATO is a joke, the UN is a joke. It's all anti-American causes. And we fund all that, or most of it, not all of it, but most of it. We fund all of that. And the problem is sin. The problem is sin. Let's not blame it on one group of people. The problem is sin across the world. It's sin. And, well, okay, man. But I get it. Every time you come in here, and that's what I told Watchmen, it's always the same statements. It's the same thing. You go back to the central thing. And you don't have anything new, man. It's the same story. We can't talk about any story, so I'm just not going to mention it anymore. I mean, I get it. Okay, I gave you that's Spartan, Soda Core. I probably didn't say it right. I gave you that. But I'm just not going to stay in that, and it becomes an attack on me. So let's move on. So if I'm an idiot or whatever, okay, you don't have to stop by. I'll just say it. You're welcome to. I don't ban anybody. I've never banned anybody, but I just don't. Add to the discussion. Add to the discussion. And you run a smokescreen for all terrorist entities and nations. And you just make all of your concentrated effort of hate towards the Jews and towards Israel. Dude, there's plenty of nations that hate our guts. And they have nothing to do with Jewish causes, occupation, apartheid, or whatever the case may be. They hate our guts. And we have been over backwards in helping them and sending money, funneling money through them. There's a lot of fraud there as well. But it always goes back to that. People defend evil dictators and terrorists and point all their anger at the Jews. It's just Jewish hatred. That's what it is. I just admit it, man. It's just Jewish hatred, because you label them all in the same group. You have any Jewish friends? I mean, I have many Jewish wonderful friends who are Christian, and you just label all of them as evil, man. Come on, that's just Jewish hatred. I mean, come on. I get it. Israel is not a Christian nation. I never said they were. Israel has done things at times maybe heavy. But but I will tell you this: every nation around them would love to destroy them, and people want to dance on the graves. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Israel's going to go through a lot of pain in the future, but we know who's coming to stand. I know everybody wants to look at Syrian Jews, and Israel's not going to. Dude, it's all biblical. It's all biblical. We just got to get in the Word, man. And we're moving on. All right. When Obama and Biden entered politics, they were both worth less than 500,000. But look at what they are worth now. I may have been asleep in math class or suspended at the time, but even I know they didn't make that money on their government salaries. And there are tons of them that do that. They've also worked the stock market and gotten insider trading info, and not specifically them, although that could have happened. But there are others that we know seemingly always win in the stock market, always. And they've made hundreds of millions of dollars. In fact, maybe even more than $1 billion. And they've been very successful at doing that. So yeah, they all work the same system, and then they look at it. They look at certain people and they go, tax the rich, tax these people, tax whatever, and it's just look. These are the ones that are providing the jobs. My company, I'm not going to name, but they are a successful company. I'm glad. I mean, I want to work there. It's been a good job for me for over 35 years. We are a part of a much bigger entity. We are attached to a much bigger one that is huge, and so those people, they're absolutely very rich. I'm not jealous of their success. They're self-made men, many of them who came up and started with nothing and made themselves into a great entity. They don't like all their policies as individuals, the way they look at the world or anything. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that they have provided jobs for hundreds of thousands of people, at least maybe a few million. I don't know how many work for all the companies that they have in their umbrella, but they're successful. I want them to be successful. It has put food on my table and supported my family, for decades. And so I don't begrudge people who grow themselves up and become very successful. In the end, we all lose it anyway. It all goes back. You can't take it with you, is what they say. You can't take it with you. It's not possible to take it with you. And so, I just think you do right by people. I had a friend one time. He started a little company. He worked hard. I watched this guy. He was blessed by God to work with wood. That was his thing. And he started this little company while he was working. And he started by doing like jobs like building decks, re-roofing. He didn't really like roofing homes, but he did that because he could get solid work. So he did this on the side, like he'd work at work. In his off days, he was building his business. And one day he became successful and he left the business. And it's become a family business. They've traveled all over. They've got into some contract work and they've traveled around and did a lot of work. And he provided a business that his family could come along, children, young daughters and stuff, come along and be a part of. Gotten married, now they're a part of it, and it's providing jobs. And along the way, sometimes they would employ others, small group, no more than 3 to 5. But he always made sure that they made a decent wage, for what he could pay. He didn't go out there and try to get the cheapest of the cheap, like there's been those fraudulent ones do, hiring people that are not legal and paying them crap wages because they know they can't say anything because they don't want to get deported or whatever. There's companies that do that, especially in the construction industry. It's horrible what has happened. But he paid his people well. I did a little work for him before, and he really just said, I just really wanted to hang out with you. I hadn't done it in a few years. We used to do that. I'd go to help him. It about kill me. I wasn't used to that type of work. But we had a good time, and he paid me well. And I think that he's a Christian, and he wanted to do right by taking care of his workers and everything. But he was employing people. He was a small business that was employing people, and they're paying their taxes. He was definitely doing everything by the book. I'd watch him actually at work when he was back at work before he went on his own. He'd be doing he'd be doing his own taxes and stuff on his breaks and stuff. But the guy followed all the rules and he did everything right. But he was out there working around companies that were not, and he would see that, and it's sickening sometimes. But yeah, there's so much fraud. I mean, at so many levels, and it's a front program in many cases to just take and take and take and take, and then then they're not paying. There are those who don't pay their fair share, but they point the finger at those who, but in the same boat. But they're with them. They're partners. Okay, if you're gonna just turn the finger around and point at yourself, if you're a billionaire who's not doing the right thing, but again, eliminate the loopholes. But these companies are always going to be looking, just like any taxpayer would. There's a lot. I mean, I know people right now that are wanting to move across the nation and into the South. And they're looking at the states that don't have a state income tax. Why? Well, because they would save money. It would be one portion of money they wouldn't have to pay out. So they're doing their research. There's candidates running right now. I know one of the candidates for lieutenant governor in Georgia says he wants to eliminate the state income tax. I don't know if it ever happened. It's been talked about for a long time. But that they see that, they're losing some companies and people that would come into the state. I think we're full up, but they're choosing Tennessee, Texas, and some others over Georgia. Although Georgia's done very well, a lot of companies have moved into Georgia and done a lot of business here. And the state has a rainy day fund. The bills are paid. We're not belly up like a California, and those policies just don't work. and they are just constantly, constantly attacking or taking, or rather, from the system, and then they just put it more on the backs of the taxpayers as the debt rises, the interest on that debt. I mean, it's a sad thing to go look at the debt claw, the debt as it rises and the interest that's going on that. I mean, that makes you sick at your stomach to see that. And they just continue doing that. We were also talking yesterday how they've stolen from Social Security. And, if they don't put money into it within the next 9 to 10 years maximum, there'll be no money in there. And we've got all these people taken from the system and nobody's paying in. We've heard the numbers. When Social Security was started, I think it was an average of 7 paid in to 1 taking out. That number is 3 to 1 or maybe even 2 to 1 now. So you only have 2 paying in for every 1 taking out. The boomers are all, the boomers are dying out. And my wife was a boomer. I'm not. I'm just outside of that. My wife was obviously a boomer. She was a little bit older than me. And, they're dying. And, that's a lot of them are going into nursing homes. We don't have enough nursing homes. And these numbers, everybody crunches the numbers, and the next few years look pretty rough. It really does. I want to look at real quick sports. Last night, the Braves did not. It was the first series that the Braves have not won, and they left Seattle, and they just didn't get it done. And so I think they lost 2 and won 1. They have today off. It was 3 to 1 yesterday. The Braves didn't get it done. Perez took the loss. This was a tight game until late. It was 1-0 Seattle into the 5th or 6th maybe, and they come back or didn't come back, and Seattle won the game. They still are tied, I think. If New York will look at the standings, I think they're still tied with the Yankees for the best record. No, actually, the Yankees didn't play or didn't win, and so the Braves still have the best record in baseball. They have today off. They begin a huge series with the Los Angeles Dodgers. That's a major series. Then they will take another day off, and they will come back home and play the Cubbies. So this is but that was the first series they had lost. In the scores yesterday, the Blue Jays lose again. The Rays beat them. Blue Jays are struggling. The Brewers beat a Cardinals team that's been playing slightly better than them, but they took them down. The Dodgers are struggling. They are now 23-14. They beat the Stros 12-2. That's who the Braves will be going against tonight. We'll look at the matchups here in a minute. The Padres beat the Giants 5-1. The Angels got a much-needed win over the White Sox 8-2. The Athletics lost again. They're struggling now. Phillies, who are playing much better, but they're still 17-20. They're now 500 at home, 10-10. 6-3 the win there. The Phillies. The Orioles beat the Marlins 7-4. Both these teams have been a struggle all year. The Red Sox got a much-needed win over the Tigers, 4-0. The Nationals destroyed the Twins, 15-2. Both teams have struggled. The Rangers beat the Yankees. Yes, there it is. They did lose. So the Braves lost, but the Yankees lost. So the Braves stayed 1 game ahead. They have 26 wins on the season. The Yankees have 25. But they did lose their first series. The Yankees lost 6-1. The Cubbies, who the Braves will be playing not over the weekend, but beginning next week, beat the Reds 7-6. This has been a good matchup. These are 2 evenly matched teams. The Guardians beat the Royals 3-1. The Mets finally get a big win, beat Colorado 10-5. Colorado's been struggling. And the Pirates won 1-0 over the Diamondbacks. Pirates been playing better of late. Soroka took the loss. The former Brave took the loss in that game. But he has been pitching well. He's 4-2 on the season, 4.14. I hate that he got away. He just seemingly stayed hurt and everything when he was with the Braves. It just didn't work out. But I wish him well. Today's games, the Yankees and the Rangers are played today, an early game. And it won't be as many games, probably. Twins and Nationals, Guardians, Royals, Reds, Cubs, Mets, Yankees, Mets, Rockies. Where's my brain? Pirates, Diamondbacks, Athletics, Phillies, Orioles, Marlins, the Rays, and the Red Sox, the Cardinals, and the Padres. So for the Yankees, Blackburn will be going against Gore, and they could come back and they could be tied with the Braves for the best record in baseball. Tomorrow's matchup, because the Braves are off today, I want to look at that matchup to see if they've changed it. We went through that the other night on Wolf Nation Sports. In the first game, it is Sale. They still have him penciled in. He's 6-1, 2.14 on the season. He will be going against Shahan in that first game. And I believe they have Strider over the weekend, who was just back, pitching fairly well. Yeah, Strider will go Saturday against Sasaki. This will be a good matchup. All these are really good. And Sunday, it's just a 3-game set. The Braves will have Elder, who's pitching well, 3-1, 2.02 against Robleski. 5-0 he is, 1.25. It's going to be a big matchup, big bats. Hey, good morning, Daryl. Expect a lot of scoring, although we could get pitching duel. But I think there's going to be some scoring in this. So the Braves for the weekend will be playing the Dodgers off today. We'll catch up with all the sports tonight. Hopefully the storms will not hinder us tonight like it did last night, and we will get back to our sports talk. But tonight we're actually going to be talking fantasy football too. We're going with Cook. Hopefully Cowboy Cook can make it, and we're going to be talking fantasy football. And as we get ready for our season start on that, so we'll catch up on all the scores though. Jerry Barrett says, when I ran my own company for 35 years, I was able to pay my workers an above-average salary. I believe this was because I demanded that they did above-average quality work, and most of my jobs came from that, and because of my good looks. Hey, it never hurts, man. It never hurts. Yeah, I mean, every company, especially, I mean, you want word of mouth, like, hey, I used Jerry Barrett Construction or whatever you were in, and they did me a great job. You know, and they backed their work up, you know, they guaranteed satisfaction and all that. And, you know, they did what they said they would do. And, you know, I mean, that's what you want. And the workers, you know, everybody wants to make more money. I mean, more and more and more. You pay what you can, what fits in that financial model. And that's the problem that today we have so many people that don't understand economics. And they think that companies have an endless amount of money just to pay them. And it just doesn't fit the model. You can only pay up to so much. Now, there are companies that pay a lot less than they have. I've been told I have a face that is made for radio. Well, I know I do. One of my sisters doesn't like my hat. Another one does. And I said, I like my hat. It's like, it's Indiana Jones look. I said, well, you know, deal with it. I love you, but deal with it. So, anyway. Oh, so I don't know what it's doing in your area, but it is raining here still. And I hope that we don't get knocked out. But the storm, I think, is mostly over. But it hit pretty hard yesterday. Oh, my gosh. Had a good time running around the family. Had a good birthday, except for not being able to be on. And it was a good day. A lot of family around. We had a good time. And my sister will be going back home on Saturday. So we got a couple of days left with her, and she's been such a blessing. I appreciate all the literally hundreds of people that wish me a happy birthday. So nice. Been such a blessing, and I appreciate that. It is right in here, and I've got to take my trash down the road. Have a blessed day. You too, my friend. Thank you, Daryl. Thank you. It was good. You know, I was telling someone, and this is just something you notice. I mean, just, you know, I'm in new territory. Thank you, Jerry. And all these people that, you know, I had so many people have been wishing me, you know, well birthdays, but they also know what happened. So they were saying, they were saying to me, you know, I know it's a tough time losing your wife, and I was married to my spouse for this many years, and you know, some of them longer than we were married. One of them was 44 years, and they were reaching out. Yesterday evening I didn't feel well. I think it's because I've been missing sleep, but I caught up a little bit. But I'm glad hopefully you're feeling better, my friend. But I was telling most of the people, I mean, I know one that has, but all the people that are telling me this are women. Their husbands have died. And, you know, I just talked to my sisters. I never thought about it, but, you know, most of the time the man goes first. And, you know, I guess because we, hard headed, play dangerous, whatever. Don't take care of yourself or whatever. All that should have said raining here. My phone doesn't like my redneck voice this morning. No, it's okay. Yeah, it's coming down and pretty good at times and backing off. I can hear it on the metal roof of the studio. But and thank you for the follow, Beyond Brand New, whoever that is. Rumblebot picking that up. But yeah, I was thinking it's strange. All these ladies, and I've been sending them prayer requests for a couple 3 years now. So many of them. Some of them I discovered, and they're praying for me, and they say, it's very tough, and they know that. And I said, I know what you're going through, but I was talking to my sister. I said, all of them are women. I mean, I know one guy, he's lost his wife, and I said, yeah, it's traditionally it's the women who are left. It's raining cats and dogs here. I walked down the porch a minute and they're going to step on a poodle. Man, we went to Cracker Barrel yesterday. I told you I was going to go. They've redone the Cracker Barrel. I don't know if I like it or not. It didn't look the traditional. It didn't look the same. They didn't have as much of the antique stuff on the walls and stuff. I don't know. Food was good. Like I'm not sure. It looked a little too changed, like that standardized stuff. Part of the reason to go to Cracker Barrel was the character and the food, but the environment. It was so much different. It was just different. Dave, are people in North Georgia suffering from Israel fatigue? No, I don't think we are. Are many in North Georgia critical of Trump being in bed with Israel? That is not the topic of discussion among my friends constantly every day. No, it's not. I think people understand the deal and understand. We talk. I talk to friends of mine, but no, it's not. It's not. I'm just being honest. It's not. You'll find that most people here are supportive. They may not like some of the things that Israel does, but they realize that they see Israel as an ally and a friend in the Middle East, even though sometimes that friendship gets tested. And support here for Israel remains strong in North Georgia. So there you go down and closer to Atlanta, you'll run into more of that. So a fair question, and I gave you the fairest of answers that I could. So because that's what it is. It's just not a topic of discussion. The voters that I talk to, and I talk to many, that's not even their top 10. Not even close. They're going to talk about economy. They're going to talk about energy, gas prices, local state issues, border security, all those things. And they still fully support the president to lead us through. There are some who have peeled away or questioning support or whatever, but it's not in the numbers that the media is trying to make it like it's this mass exodus. I'm not seeing it. I think they're playing with people. Certainly they won't think everybody here in North Georgia is. I'm going to say everybody. I don't like to paint the brush. The majority of people in North Georgia are supportive of the president's efforts with Iran, fully, no question. So that's the 14th district. That's I'm just telling you that's what they feel. So now there are those who don't want. They want us out of Ukraine, but there are still people who are supporting the efforts there. They want to help Ukrainians. So anyway, it is time to go. God bless all of you. Have a wonderful and blessed day. My hope is that around 6 o'clock tonight, as long as the internet will play nice tonight, the storms were mean to us last night. We couldn't air. We will have some shows. We'll test that this afternoon. I'm going to work. Got to let's see if the kiddo wants me to drop her off at school since it's raining. She may walk with her umbrella. So I didn't see it, but I'm going back and watching some of it. I was reading Carrie Lake's discussion about that. If you want to read her responses, look up Carrie Lake and her response to that debate. And it is fascinating what she had to say. But yeah, they are full-on cray-cray. Yeah, go read Carrie Lake's response to that. We may try to air some clips tonight. Maybe. We'll see. Have a blessed day. God bless all of you. Love you. And thanks for your thoughts and prayers for me. We're okay. I don't know what you're supposed to feel. I don't even know what I feel sometimes. It's not easy, but, I'm going to move forward. So we'll have up times, down times, whatever times. If you would like to follow, if you don't, some people don't, and I'm only putting it on Facebook. I have multiple Facebooks. If you go to my name, which has the logo for the Southern Patriots podcast, if you want to, you can read my daily Life with Lenny. That's what I call them, Life with Lenny. Life with Lenny. And people have told me they really like them and they want me to keep doing them. So I just did them as a way to help people who maybe didn't know some of the things that, I've got people that went to school with her and remain best friends, people that went to church with her, people that, her family. And everybody tells me I didn't know that about her. I did, because they weren't there. And I'm telling all these stories. And they try, I'll try to tell some funny things and different things about her. And so it's mostly daily. If I miss a day, it's because I've been really busy. I do these really late at night, sometimes in the middle of the night. I kind of release them late at night. But if you would like to see those, that's where they're posted. I'm not going to make it a feature anywhere else, but it's going to be a Facebook only for right now under my account. But I'm just letting you know if you would like to follow that. They're very short. You can read them in 2 minutes or a minute. It doesn't take that long. Probably a minute, probably less than a minute. And a lot of people have told me that it has really touched them. So anyway, I'm not trying to promote it. I'm just letting you know. If you want to know a little bit about my wife, these kind of give you an insight into what our marriage was like and the wonderful times we had over 40 years of marriage. And so in some way, I guess it helps me, but I didn't do it that way. If people think I'm not doing these to self-help or anything. I just really thought that there were people that I knew that knew her that had not been able to be around her a lot in the last few years. Life is busy. And many of these stories, like I said, they're very close to her and they love her. They loved her with, they say she's my best friend or she's my aunt or whatever. And young and old alike have told me that they love, and some were coworkers and worked with her for, 20 plus years. And they say they love them. So it gives them some, it's for them. It's for Lynn and it's for them. And every show here is now dedicated to my Lynn. So I did do that. It's an honor of her because she was a big supporter of everything that's here. She's never on camera, never, not one time that I can remember. If she was, it was just because we took a picture together. I might have did a video with her once, a little short, and put it up, but she never come in any of the shows. But I promise you, her thumbprint is all over everything that we do. And many things that everything that I did was filtered through offline talks with her about ideas I had in shows and stuff. She was very much a partner in the podcast. She just never was on screen. She was the silent partner on screen, but not silent behind the scenes, and was constantly making sure that we were taken care of here in the studio, because that was Lynn's superpower. Was she just loved to help people and do things. And so I've heard a lot of stories about that, even more than I knew. And so anyway, I just want to let you know that as we go off the air, and I'm doing good. It's you just keep, all you can do is take day by day. And I've got a granddaughter here, and we're supporting each other. So there'll be hard days, hard times, but we got work to do and things to do for the Lord, and we're going to keep doing that. And I love every one of you. Spartan, if you're still listening out there, I love you. I just wish that you and Watchman, I love both of you. I mean, it's always the same thing. I get it, but what you say goes into Jewish hatred. I'm sorry, it just does. You go and you paint that brush over every Jewish person alive, is the way you say those statements, and I'm really done with that. So I get it. I'm not standing in front of Israel with a stop sign and saying you can't criticize. I've never said that. But read what you're saying, man. You defend. You say you're against evil, but you won't go after evil that's in any other form unless it's Jewish. Man, you got to change that. You got to change it, man. You got to change it. And there's a lot coming. You just need to. But again, it's not for me to tell you what to do. You're a human. You're a grown man. Grown men. You do what you want to do. I'm just saying. I'm just not going to keep putting that up on the air. We have to have more discussion of thought than just that. It has to be more. And may God bless you and have a blessed day. And if you don't know the Lord Jesus today, make today the day of salvation and know Him. And I'm excited to be a Christian for the days ahead. Yeah, there are rough days ahead, but we face them with the Lord, and we know that we are winners eternally with Christ Jesus. I am so happy to be a Christian, and I know where my wife is, and one day I will join her. All right, let me find my song. There it is. We'll see you again, hopefully tonight. For those that may have just watched the morning show, we'll see you in the morning, Lord willing, if we're here. And I thank the Lord for giving me 61 years and a day on this earth. It's been a blessing, and it's all due to his blessing that I'm here. Take care.